everyone, my name is Nick. Behind me is a 1997 Grand Marquis that I'm putting up for sale. It's got 244,000 miles on it, so it's already done the distance to the moon. Maybe the next person wants to do double that number, bring it back from the moon. So let's go ahead and take a look at this thing. The distance to the moon is 238,000, I forget. But anyways, this is the 1997 Mercury Grand Marquis LS. Again, it has 244,000 miles on it, and this car has had 2 owners. That's it, 2 owners, which I think is incredible for a car that is now, if my math is correct, 28 years old. That really does not happen a whole lot. Unfortunately, I apologize. Normally these things are spick and span and clean, but in the south currently this is pollen season, so yellow dust everywhere. So you can wash a car in about maybe a few minutes after. If you're parked near any kind of trees, this is what happens. So you don't stand a chance keeping a car clean. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and I'm gonna walk you around and show you this car. And then we'll talk about the maintenance it's had, show you the inside, etc. And yeah, so again, this car's had 2 owners since new. It was bought new in Covington, Georgia. And then one of my best friends bought this used from a Ford dealer in Augusta, Georgia in 2011, and it had something like 110,000 on it. I can get the exact number later. And he drove it ever since. It was his first car. But times changed. He actually upgraded, if you want to call it that, to a 1979 Ford LTD. So the first body style of the downsized version of what we call today the Crown Vic and stuff. That's what he wanted, and he managed to find an absolute beautiful one with, I think it was 30-some thousand miles. So that's why this thing, I went through it and did a few things to it to bring it back up to snuff and find it a new home. So normally I would use the pointing apparatus, but unfortunately I cannot find it, so we'll just have to use my digit here for anything major. But we'll do a quick walk around on the outside. Unfortunately, weather today, it was beautiful and sunny, and then it just quickly changed here, so rain is imminent. So we'll just go ahead and talk about it here. So keep in mind, 244,000 miles, there's gonna be nicks and chips and dings and stuff in this thing. It's not gonna be perfect, but at the same time, it's still a very presentable car. He was using this for essentially a commuter car for years. That's all it was. It wasn't a special interest, hold on to it. It was just drive it to work and back. So you can see, unfortunately, there's some bug marks on it in the paintwork. Maybe you might be able to compound and wet sand it out. I did the most basic compound and polish I could on the cover, but it's just, unfortunately, that's what happens with time. He usually had a plate up here. He liked to have a vanity plate on, but that's why the paint looks, well, shinier behind the plate. Maybe you want to put a plate on it. Obviously something lacerated across the front here and here. Some of this stuff came with the car back in the days, because at the time it had 111 or something on it. So older folks that bought it new probably bumped into a few things. And yeah, that's unfortunately what happens with time. Get some wear on things. However, he did a great upgrade on the front end here. So not only has he replaced the grille in recent times, because you'll notice it's not all pitted and rock chipped up. It's just got a few minor marks in it. But the logo's still nice, chrome's nice, the eyebrows are nice. These lenses are NOS Ford ones he bought on eBay, I think sometime just before COVID. So he was able to upgrade those. So you have these nice clean lenses, and he put the WeatherTech clear film over top, so all the rocks and other debris from the road blasting the front end will protect it. It does have cornering lights because this is an LS model, and he also did the upgrade to the some older style Marquis badges, kind of a throwback to the idea of the town car where they used to put the logo for the model on the quarter panels. Multi-spoke style wheels that were off of, I think, late 80s town car. So those look nice. Center caps still nice stainless steel ones, no plastic, at least on that part of it. down the side here. I'm trying to think if there was anything to note, and don't really see anything worth highlighting here. There's a little scuff on the mirror edge. Who knows what's that from? And just the beginnings of some oxidation at the top of the plastic, but that's all right. Glass, while I'm here, looks like there's maybe something that was repaired at one point right there. Just a minor chip. It looked, you can kind of see some kind of little bit of spider webbing there. It's about the size I would describe the depth. Well, yeah, not the depth, the diameter's maybe about a little smaller than a quarter. Roof looks nice. I don't see any oxidation or anything up here. Looks nice and clean. There's the pollen trails. Very nice, even though I washed this car, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes ago. It stinks this time of year trying to keep things clean. On this door, otherwise, it looks pretty nice. I don't see any major flaws here. Yeah, you have oxidation in the impact strip here. There's a little scuff there, and probably some hand marks here, nails. Yeah, and of course it's also keeps starting to rain and stopping, so it's kind of a tough battle. Just a bit of fade on the pillars, but absolutely nothing substantial. The rubber's still all nice and supple. Things look pretty nice in this door here. There's a couple little scuffs. Oh, that was just random dirt. Yeah, this is kind of unfortunate. I remember him talking about this. Somebody in the store grazed the door, and as you can see, it's not straight here, so the trim is no longer really holding on, and clearly there was some kind of the trim itself at least held on, but unfortunately the impact strip pushed back into the door, so there's a little bend in the door there, and obviously some of the paintwork here is starting to fail on this side. Maybe it saw more sun. I'll show you something in the trunk though that can at least help rectify that, so we'll get back to that. But on the quarter here, looks pretty nice and straight. A little minor ding right there. Otherwise looks pretty nice. Rear glass, it's got the integrated antenna in it, and the rear defrost. Yeah, back here you can see grandma grazed against something. You can just catch it with your nails, so unfortunately that's kind of what happened. There's a little chip there. It's got some kind of neat Mercury mud flaps on it. That's nice. I feel the rain is just starting here, so I'll have to keep the momentum here. You can see there's some crazing and impact from just probably bumping into things back in the day. Trunk lid's got a little scuffs here, just along the edge. Of course, it's starting to rain. But nothing substantial here. Otherwise, looks pretty nice down the side here. It does not have a remote trunk release, but wow, nice and clean in the gas door area. Usually this is all moldy. Looks pretty good. Nice painted on pinstripe. Little chip in the paint there on the edge. Door looks nice and straight. A little ding there. A little mark there and there, but not too bad. Again, the roof looks nice. I don't see any dings or even oxidation up there. There's maybe just a shade on the edge of the door, but that's about it. There's various little marks here. I'm not sure what this is from because your hand's here, so I'm not sure what all the little chips are from, but looks pretty nice. A little more oxidation in the paint on these moldings here. But otherwise, door bottoms, they all look nice. Looks like something maybe came in contact here. I'm not sure, maybe a rake or something in a garage. But otherwise, it looks pretty nice. Fender looks good. I don't see any kind of ding. Oh, there's a little ding right there. And there's some grazing here from coming in contact with something. But yeah, looks pretty nice. All these tires are date coded from 2021, which you can see right here, 24th week of 21. And I think the other one was 49th week of 21. Somewhere here. Yeah, 49th week of 21. They all have 6 to 7 millimeters of tread, so they're all in good shape. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a quick tour of the inside. The door panel, as you can see here, it's got a little bit of wear, but that would be pretty much expected for something at this point in its life. Power windows, locks, mirrors, seat control, pretty standard stuff. This does have a lens, but it doesn't light up on 1997 models, so thank you Ford, just like the fuel door release got deleted. It still has the trunk popper with the lockout. Oil pressure gauge was added by the prior owner of this car. Nice leather seats. These do not look like they have, what is this, 244? Yeah, this, I've seen seats with 80 that look a lot rougher than this. This looks really, really good for 244. Wow. How about an armrest? Yeah, I mean, it's just the most minor wear. Wow, that looks great. Looking around here otherwise, appears that we have a nice leather wrapped wood wheel. This was out of like an 01 town car, this horn pad and steering wheel. And all these controls work over here, so that's pretty cool. Steering wheel, shifter boot, not torn. This is still there. Hazard still turn on. A nice chrome stalk for the turn signal. Automatic lights, which you can turn to the desired amount or just manually turn them on. Dimmer, overdrive off. Otherwise, automatic climate control, AM/FM tape, CD radio, clock. A dampened glove box with all the service records as well as the original owner's manual. If I remember right, I think this car still has all of the repair orders, the original pamphlets, as well as the window sticker from when this was new. Yeah, look at that. That's pretty neat. Still has it all. 26 grand. Yeah, this is sold new at Covington Ford, and where are they? What city are they considered? Does it tell us here? Covington, oh, duh, Covington, Georgia. There also should be this, oh, here's the pre-delivery sheet from when it was new. Wow. Unfortunately, I can't show you the name. Pre-delivery, Mercury commitments sheet, the WEO sheet, the odometer disclosure, the actual bill of sale, the window sticker. 26, wow, that's nuts. The extended warranty plan, plus all the original books, which nobody will ever read. I do. It's amazing to me that all of this is still here. Plus, when my best friend bought this car, it has all of those details in that bag over there when he bought it from the Ford dealer, Fairway Ford in Evans, Georgia in 2011 with 100 and whatever it was, how many ever thousand miles. This is just, you don't ever, I don't even see this on 5-year-old cars. How did all of this survive for so long? Cup holders, both are there. Got a non-smoking. Nice ashtray. Home link. Double visors. But a single visor on that side. Day-night mirror. Yeah, it's still got the backlighting is working on that. Wow. We look in the trunk and the back seat. Back here, he's got an storage tray with a couple of plate screws and power window switch, handle, little stain on the carpet. Not sure what from, but kind of expected. Leather's still nice and soft. No secrets in the map pockets. Armrest does have a little wear spot on it, but I think that would be considered to be expected in something this age. So as the center lap belt, and of course the 3 pointers on the corners. Headliner, I replaced that. Map lights are all illuminated. Back in here, ignore my cleaning supply and microfiber in my floor mat, but I have a CD changer, a spare grill, a door molding. Box has some lights and center caps. The jack and all is back in here. You can kind of see it sticking out, maybe in there. And this is a full-size spare that is inflated. Looking on this side, looks pretty good. Nobody in there. Just power window switch. Leather, nice and soft. Got some minor stain stuff here, but no big deal. Nothing in the map pockets. Yeah, looks nice. Up front, power windows, locks, seat control. There's normal wear I would expect for something of this age and mileage. Forgot this thing has an auxiliary jack in it. Right there. Got a footwell light. Yeah, looks pretty nice. Let's go look under the hood. All right, under the hood of this car. It does not have a K&N air filter in it, so that is just leftover from years past. It does have a new radiator, but it's had recent plugs, wires, alternator, intake manifold, hoses. It's got a trickle charger if you're letting it sit. Looks like a newer MAF. Booster and master cylinder, those have been serviced. Obviously air filter, washer fluids full. Wipers have been replaced. Not sure there's, oh yeah, and the valve cover gaskets have been done as well. And all this stuff's been lubricated where it needs to be, hinges, latches, etc. So things look pretty nice under here. Things look pretty nice. Forgot to mention these lights up here are LED. So you have some nice, bright headlights and turn signals. You can also turn on the fog lights too. The fog lights, the high beams. It's got some really cool yellow high beams. And around back, you also have nice bright side markers, brake lights. And I suppose if I were to put it into reverse, you could see those too. As you can see, nice and bright. Okay, and looking around here, we got windows that go down, Don't want them going down though that much with the rain. But you can see they all go up and down. And all the locks work. I can get them in the frame. You can see there. All those work. It does have LED lights up in the console, the overhead. But not in the map lights, or just regular lighting. Still has what appears to be just regular incandescent bulbs. Anything else to note up in this area? Seat belts, all still nice, not frayed. You have your middle. Seats still look great for their age. It's just the most minor wear here. That's really it, which is about on average with the rest of the seat. Yeah, those look nice. If somebody keeps conditioning these seats, whoever gets it next, they'll continue to look as good as the back seat does too. So you can see it looks really nice back here. Headliner I did replace. Unfortunately, the gray I was sold was not a match, and I was unable to find anything else in my area. So unfortunately it's not a match, but I almost could say it does because it matches the tops of the door panel and the dash and stuff. So I guess it will do, because unfortunately it was starting to fall down in the very back corners. You do have all your assist handles, coat hooks. Not sure there's anything else. A couple of floor mats. You can see that one's got a little stain in it. It's all nice. Speaker deck's nice. Yeah. All right, let's go for a ride here. Nobody coming. Blah. So we are now getting on the interstate. There's 4th, foot to the floor. Back into 4th, and lock up. Really smooth but firm, if I can put it that way. So the suspension is probably more reminiscent of maybe a Crown Victoria cop car, so it does have a firmer, the shocks are firmer and the sway bars are thicker, so this does have a firmer than your typical Grand Marquis ride. This thing has a very good ride to it. Steering input is nice, controlled. All the stuff you would expect. Cruise, that works. Off. Temperature. I don't want it that hot. I'll turn the radio on. Controls work. Memory. Band. Yeah, that all that stuff works. You have a clock. Horn. I can click this off. Vroom. Engages 4th, lock up. You got good oil pressure at 244,000 miles. Going down the road at about maybe 60-ish PSI, which is phenomenal. It shows how well this car was cared for. Looks good back there. So if you have any interest in this vehicle, feel free to get in touch with me, and thank you very much.